It is Chair Shot Reality, and we are happy to start on WhatCulture, the wonderful YouTube channel WhatCulture. Myself, Justin LeBar, alongside Juice Springsteen, as we are here in our studio in downtown Pittsburgh. We're very excited to have you on board. We hope you enjoy all we have to talk about. We're going to talk about Hell in a Cell coming up later this weekend. We're going to talk about things that are better than the inevitable Shield reunion. But first, Juice, let's do a little history talk, because it was
love history.
It was this past Thursday that it was 20 years to the day that we got the tragic death of Brian Pillman.
Yeah, unfortunately.
The debut of the Hell in a Cell match.
Hell in a Cell.
And it's gotta be Kane. That's gotta be Kane. Kane's debut. So I ask you, obviously, the Brian. Thank you. I got that. I got the Braun. I got the Brock.
I don't know if you have the Braun. We'll get there.
We'll get there. Obviously, Pillman's death was unfortunate, but I want to kind of go over to the positives.
What a crazy day that was.
Really?
All these things all in one day. Is just
Who would have thought an October
wild
pay-per-view called Bad Blood 97?
I know. In Your House, Bad Blood turns into one of the biggest historical things.
Yes, can't forget the In Your House.
Of course.
All right, so let's talk about the positives. What was a bigger deal? The debut of the Hell in a Cell match or the debut of the man on your shirt, Kane?
Yeah, Kane is pretty important, but he wouldn't have appeared had it not been for the Hell in a Cell match. Now, the Hell in a Cell match has its own pay-per-view. We're going to have, this coming Sunday. I think, Hell in a Cell was long-lasting more than Kane, even though Kane's been in, WWE for 20 years.
You see, you talk about how, Kane's debut came about because of the Hell in a Cell match. I'm not really going to do so much of the, what came first, the chicken or the egg. I'm going to say the Kane debut was the bigger deal, because I think the way WWF at the time was evolving, the way wrestling was evolving in terms of match gimmicks and such, they would have got to Hell in a Cell eventually. That, the expansion of the cage would have happened eventually. But the Kane debut, I think there's probably no better debut, given the backstory, given what he showed up and did, given the look. I mean, he shows up and manhandles The Undertaker. And you think about in the 90s, The Undertaker, who got the better of The Undertaker? The Undertaker
Maybe Yokozuna.
Yokozuna did, but it took Yokozuna and 10 other guys to get him in a casket. So really the only other person that got truly the better of The Undertaker was Mankind in 96.
Yes.
And Mankind, obviously, it was not wasted on him. He ended up having a phenomenal career, both with The Undertaker and by himself.
Exactly.
So Kane shows up. It's pretty unprecedented. We never seen fire out of the turnbuckle post.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. Kane comes out, and for him to be the brother of The Undertaker, and for a character that's with the biggest character of all time, like for 25 plus years, and his duration as a character is just as long. Who would have ever thought that too? Like, Kane has gone through so many different changes throughout his career, and now he's trying to be mayor.
Yeah, which I'll get to in a second.
We'll get there.
I think one of the most interesting things and most valuable things about the Kane debut was that it's one of the few things that you can look at in wrestling that it actually looked like it was part of this grand master plan that was 7 years in the making. Obviously, The Undertaker, when he comes into WWF, he's Kane the Undertaker.
Kane the Undertaker.
Very briefly.
Yep.
And then, he has this whole story with he and Paul Bearer, and they finally go to the well of, okay, Paul Bearer's left him. There's this Undertaker has family. And it's Kane. It actually felt like, if you look back now we're 20 years past it, it seems like it was something that they had this grand master plan. Obviously, in 1990, they didn't know they were going to be
Vince would have you think it was this great 7-year, long-term booking plan.
But credit to Bruce Pritchard,
of course,
who was the big part behind the Kane.
Yeah. On the flip side, though, Hell in a Cell, has been around since 1997 now. Of course, we have its own pay-per-view. And I think it's a means to an end for feuds, and it settles feuds. It's one of the bastard childs of the War Games, which is weird. It's coming back now too.
And you're pumped.
Of course, Hell in a Cell and Elimination Chamber were these weird type of matches that have come from a War Games cage match with a roof on it, and I think it's a great thing now. And maybe it's oversaturated in these days, but I think it's a good pay-per-view.
Mayor or not, do we see Kane wrestle again?
I think so. Yeah. I think if they're gonna do him leaving, I think he's in better shape than The Undertaker, quite frankly, and he could do this is my retirement match or something to that degree. I think it'd be very interesting.
Yeah, I think no matter what, I was asked this on social media, I think Kane, Glenn Jacobs is forever going to be part of the WWE family. Yeah. So even if he becomes mayor, even while he's in office, or even if it's after his term, he's definitely going to put the mask on. And whether it's a random appearance at a Mania or probably Royal Rumble would be the most fitting.
Definitely.
We are definitely going to see him again, but he does deserve.
I like how he was Malibu Kane, all these things in the cartoon, and now he's going to be Mayor Kane. It's fantastic.
Well, of course, Hell in a Cell pay-per-view coming up later this weekend. We are going to talk later this weekend about Shane McMahon versus Kevin Owens. Well, again, we're going to talk about the Shield reunion, but coming up next, let's talk Shane and Kevin Owens, and I can't also forget that we're going to talk about Sister Abigail and Bray Wyatt. Josh Eisenberg is going to join me from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. We'll talk Hell in a Cell. We'll also tell you how you can win money making predictions. It's Chair Shot Reality on WhatCulture.